Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy. I am Morgan, and today I am talking about rewilding your inner witch. Yes, so this was an idea that started last year for me, and it came to me as a word, and that was rewilding. I was doing some journaling. I was processing how pretty much 2023 for me was a year to hibernate a little bit. I dove down inside of myself. I really focused on healing some past wounds, bringing them to the surface, shining light on them. And I was hoping at the time that 2024 would be the year that I could emerge transformed and really embrace all of the work that I had been doing, the healing, the spiritual work, all of it. And I could come out in 2024 and just absolutely rock it. I think I mentioned in the last episode that from a numerology standpoint, that's exactly what 2023 and 2024 were for a lot of people. The numerology of 2023 is all about introspection and growth and diving down inside of yourself. And then the numerology for 2024 is about expansion and coming out. Okay. And that's kind of where I was headed anyway, without even knowing that. But I was meditating on basically my word of the year. Like, what do I want my word of the year to be? And like, what kind of energy do I want to harness for the year? What do I want to do? And the word rewilding came to me. I didn't come up with it. The word rewilding is out there. It's been out there. It's especially being used right now during female-centered communities, all about rewilding yourself, rewilding women, bringing out your primal instincts and all of that. So this wasn't a word that I thought I made up. It was just one that came to me as far as like, okay, this is the energy you need to embody. So that's when I decided, all right, 2024 is going to be the year of rewilding for me. So what does that mean? Yeah, no, you're probably asking that. To me, rewilding or becoming a wild witch, because that was, anyone can rewild. You don't have to be a witch to do so. But because I personally am on a spiritual journey, I wanted to do this in a way that was witchcraft or spiritual related. Okay. So for me, becoming a wild witch or rewilding myself means that you are getting back to your primal, authentic self. You trust your intuition. You tap into the flow of magic around you. You live your truth. You practice magic the way that you want to practice it. You speak up for yourself. You do what you want to do as far as your magic, regardless of what you've seen on social media or what you think witchcraft should look like, or how your friends practice or how other people practice. You perfect your form of witchcraft and your form of magic. You rock it. You shout your truth from the rooftops. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that you're doing it out in the open and you're telling everyone on the street, I'm a witch. Hey, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. It doesn't. It's whatever you're comfortable with, but it's becoming comfortable with yourself and your authentic self and being grounded in that energy of who you are, regardless of what's going on around you or who's saying shit around you, whatever. Okay. So to me, that's what rewilding is, and that's what becoming a wild witch is. So you have to think like being in tune with the natural world. That's what I'm striving to do. Or working with the elements of earth, air, fire, water. I believe that everyone embodies spirit, the element of spirit or divine energy. So therefore, we all are the element of spirit. So that's why I don't name it specifically but for a lot of witches, they do believe in the 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And then it's also about trusting your inner guidance and practicing your form of magic. This is what rewilding is to me. And this is what my journey for 2024 is all about. In full disclosure today, this episode will dive into the upcoming yearly theme for my Inked Spirit Coven, which is Rewilding Your Inner Witch. Okay? The Rewilding Your Inner Witch theme will begin in March of 2024. But in today's podcast episode, I will also be giving some info on seasonal magic. So this whole episode is not just an absolutely massive plug for my program, but it is program centered. Okay, so as far as the Rewilding Your Inner Witch theme that I'll be doing with members in the Inked Spirit Coven, that will start in March and it will run for 1 year. I created this program to be a year long. It is part of the coven, and what we're doing is we're breaking down the year by seasons and their corresponding elements. Okay, so then each month of the season will then be a lesson and a workshop on one aspect of that element. I designed the whole year, and that I think is one of the most ambitious things I have ever done. But I designed the entire year. Now, that does not mean if this is something that you're interested in as I talk about it today, you're like, I don't know if I can commit to a year. I completely understand that. And I know that shit happens. So I know that there are people that may decide, this sounds really great, I'm going to sign up. And then something happens in a few months and they have to leave the coven for a little while. The entire program is like, I took a step back and I looked at the entire year and I planned the program, but every single month is independent. Okay. So every month we have a lesson and a workshop, and it will deal with a topic of that season. Okay. And I will break it down even more here in a couple of minutes. So witchy practices and lessons will help members work with seasonal and elemental energy. Each month's theme is independent, but if you do decide to join for a whole year and go through the whole Rewilding Your Inner Witch program, then coven members will have tapped into the flow of the year and hopefully undergone a personal journey of self-discovery and empowerment, having worked with all 4 elements, having worked with the energy of the seasons, having tapped into not only their intuition and honing the lessons, like taking the lessons and the workshops that we're doing, but applying it to their own magic and what works for them. But that's the goal of the entire year, okay? Is that you will have worked with earth, air, fire, water. You will have unleashed and tapped into all of the stuff inside of you that makes you come alive from a witchy standpoint. And that's what the whole program was designed for. So just to give you like a rundown of, it's kind of a rundown of the year, but also this is where I'm giving you some seasonal magic tips, okay? It has come to my attention, especially through feedback from a lot of our customers, that a lot of people, a lot of witches, they're so busy that they're pulling away from doing stuff maybe at every moon phase, like every new moon, full moon. Maybe they're moving away from doing things at every Sabbath. And a lot of witches are moving to more seasonal worshiping or seasonal practices of witchcraft. And I think that that's great because I know there's a lot of witches out there who are like, oh my God, I missed the full moon, or oh my God, I missed the new moon, or the full moon comes up and you're like, oh my God, I just have a massive headache. I do not feel like doing a ritual. So guilt sets in, like, oh my gosh, am I even really a witch? Because like I completely forgot about Imbolc. Or here it is a week later and I still haven't done anything because like my energy has just been chaotic and I don't even know if I can be a witch. So if you take a step back, like energy is always flowing. Energy is always there. And if you learn to tap into the existing energy or even the energy of an entire season, then you can be like, okay, from March to June, this is what I want to focus on. During the spring season, this is what I want to do. And it cues in your witchy side. You're like, all right, we're still doing witchy shit. Your inner witch is happy, but there's not a lot of strain and stress as far as, oh my God, do I have to do every full moon, every new moon, every Sabbath? Like, oh my God, now I'm finding out that Sunday has its own energy. Does that mean I have to do something every Sunday? So taking a step back and looking at things from a seasonal standpoint is a really good way to just kind of weave magic into your life, but doing it on a bigger scale. Like you have a bigger time frame than a day or a date or a week or whatever. You have a whole season to really work with the energy. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go over now is seasonal magic. So from March to June, and this is also the outline for the Rewilding Your Inner Witch program that's coming up, okay? From March until June is spring, and that's the element of air, okay? Now, in different traditions, witchcraft traditions, some of them have the elements different as far as elements associated with seasons, but I'm kind of going with a more traditional, larger, like it's more a widely accepted knowledge. That's what I base it on, all right? So for spring, for the first season, from March until June, it is spring. It's the element of air. So the energies of spring that you can work with in your witchcraft include knowledge. So that is just like soaking up all kinds of knowledge. Communication, and that is also speaking your own truth. New beginnings. So if you want to start over and you missed the witch's New Year back with Samhain, and then you missed New Year's, maybe you weren't feeling it there. The spring is a perfect time, according to the natural world, to have those new beginnings and those reawakenings, okay? And freedom. So those are the energies of spring. Then from June to September, and you might see that there's a little bit of an overlap. So basically from March to June, it's actually Ostara to summer solstice. Okay, so Ostara is the first day of spring, which I think this year is March 19th. It varies between the 19th and the 21st or 22nd. And then June would be summer solstice, so that's around June 20th. So from June to September would be the season of summer and the element of fire. The energies for that season are playfulness, sex, success, empowerment, and growth. So any types of spells, any type of sex magic, all of that is really amped up and really powerful during the summer, okay? From summer solstice until Mabon, which is September 20th-ish. And then from September to December, we have fall, and that is the water element. The energies for fall are emotions, healing, flow, accomplishment, and gratitude. So those are you can do different types of spells for healing, for tapping into flow. Definitely practice gratitude magic. I think that should be done on a regular basis, not just during a certain season. And then if you really want to try and tap into your emotions more, or even out your emotions or anything like that, then the fall is a really good time for that. And again, that is September, so Mabon through Yule, which Yule is usually the 20th or 21st-ish of December. Then we have December to March, which is winter, and that is the element of earth. So the energies for winter include death and rebirth, stability, groundedness, ancestor, and getting back to your roots. Okay, and yes, a lot of people do ancestor magic in October, which is technically part of the fall, and I do understand that. Again, we're just going with like overall energies. You can still do ancestor work any time of year. You can still do sex magic any time of year. You can still do things about communication or new beginnings or, increasing your knowledge base any time of year. So, but these are the energies associated with these seasons. So if you want to amp those up or if you want to work with those energies specifically, then those are the seasons to do so. So just as a little bit of a sneak peek into the actual Rewilding Your Inner Witch theme for the next year of the Inked Spirit Coven, for the spring season, so from March to June, we are going to be working with the element of air, and the topics for the coven include spell writing. We're going to be doing knot spells, meditation, visualization, and setting powerful intentions. Okay, so every month has a live lesson that we do on Zoom. It is completely optional to have your camera on or your microphone on. You do not have to. But we do gather live. Everything is recorded and put into our lesson archives. So if you can't reach us live, if you can't join us live, then it's all recorded, put in the lesson archives. You can learn at your own pace, okay? The lessons do have Book of Shadow pages that I design, and I'm the one that does teach the lesson. You're not getting someone from our team. It's me, Morgan. Hello. And then we also have a live workshop on Zoom. Now, those vary, okay? We have done hands-on rituals. We have done independent time, so like everybody brings their own thing with a theme. We've done just open time, where everyone brings their own thing. It's like an hour that you can just set aside every month to just be around witchy people and do whatever. We also have guided meditations. We also will do hands-on of something that we learned with that lesson earlier that month. So yeah, those are the types of workshops that we have. Again, they're live. They are on Zoom. I am facilitating them, and they are recorded and put into our lesson archives. If there's anything we're making, for example, let me see, for the knot spells, I doubt we'll put together a kit for that and sell it in the store for knot spells, because that's just something you can just grab string or whatever. But I know one of the months coming up, we're going to be making herbal incense. Okay, so for stuff like that, we may put together a kit and sell it in the shop. You do not have to buy the kit, okay? And in fact, prior to the workshop, of any workshop where we're making something, I give you a full supply list with plenty of time for you to acquire the things, or even look in your witchy cabinet and find the stuff yourself, okay? So that's the thing about, I think, that makes Inked Spirit Coven different than a lot of other programs, is the cost. We have a monthly membership fee, and then you can pay for a whole year. But it's $30 a month, and that's all inclusive. So you do not have to buy anything else to be a part of the coven or to participate in the workshops, okay? We don't have a supply list. We don't have a kit that you have to purchase. We don't have anything else that is mandatory for you to buy. The year of Rewilding Your Inner Witch is what we're going to be doing from March of 2024 until February of 2025. Okay, and your regular basic membership fee covers all of that. Okay, if we do any kits, they're optional. They are not mandatory, and I would definitely give you a supply list prior, because we also have some international customers and they may not get kits in time. So we have members of the coven that live in England where at the moment we can't ship anything. So we have them, they're part of the coven, they come to all the meetings, but they can't buy a kit from us. So I give you the supply lists. You can source it on your own, or just look in your witchy cabinet and find the ingredients and still join us and be part of the workshop, but using your own supplies, I have been asked, is the Rewilding Your Inner Witch program extra, like above the $30 a month? Nope, it's included. This is just our theme for the next year, okay? And so we do have the membership fee. It's $30 a month, or we do have a yearly subscription. So if you decide, I want to do it, let's just do it. Let's do the whole year. It's $300, which, comes out to basically like 10 months, but you're getting 12. But this year, I put together little swag packs, you guys, and I still haven't photographed them. We have them. We're sending them out to people who are already signing up for a year. But if you prepay for the whole year, which is $300, and of course it is U.S. customers only, because we can only ship it to U.S. customers when it comes to one of the items in the swag pack. We really can only be shipping within the United States. Not that it's not illegal or anything. It's just shipping regulations. I don't want y'all to think you're going to get like something really super rare or weird. But yeah, I put together these cute little swag packs. So you will get that for free once you sign up for a year and pay for a whole year. So I'm super excited about them. This is the first year that we've ever had like swag for the coven, and it was at our coven members' request that they wanted things with the coven logo, with, they're so proud of being part of the coven that it just absolutely warms my heart. So if you want to learn more, if you want to join us for Rewilding Your Inner Witch, then head to inkedspirit.com where you can read about the program. You can read about the coven. We're not like a hierarchical coven. I'm not a high priestess. We don't teach specific rules or anything like that. It is a coven. It is a group of eclectic witches. We all have our own spiritual paths, and that is where this year of Rewilding Your Inner Witch, there is no dogma. There is no set hierarchy of rules or you have to practice magic this way. I'm going to be teaching you witchcraft practices, and then you will incorporate them into your own magical practice. Or you'll try it and be like, that was not for me. I don't want to ever do that again. Or, I've wanted to try this. Let me do it. And then it works for you. And then you're like, yep, that's going to become something I do with every spell. That's the beauty of the coven there's no set tradition. So you can just take the knowledge, apply what resonates with you, throw out what doesn't. But you are surrounded by open-minded, beautiful souls. We have a Facebook group. They're so supportive. And it just warms my heart so much to see how this has grown in the last few years and see how close a lot of these members have gotten and how much support there is in the group. So it's really made up of a lot of solitary, eclectic witches who don't have a group in person that they can find support in. So they're doing it through the Inked Spirit Coven, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's my go-to place as well. That's where I hang out on Facebook, and I absolutely love meeting with them every 2 weeks for the lessons and the workshops and everything else that we do. So again, if you want to learn more and join us, and if you're hearing this late and it's after March, you can still jump in and join us. If you decide to go for a year, which will just roll over into whatever I have planned for 2025, you still, if you're a US Coven member, you'll still get the swag pack, and you can join at any time. You can catch up on replays of anything that we've already gone over or anything in our past archives. There's years worth of content in there. Videos, Book of Shadow pages, MP3 guided meditations. Once you become a member, you get access to our entire lesson archives. So that's just another perk and bonus of being a member. So I would love to have you join me. I really would. So head to inkedspirit.com to learn more and sign up. I definitely want to thank you all for giving me a platform to share my knowledge and, yes, share the coven with you all. I think a lot of our new members, find out about the coven through the podcast. So I'm so grateful to those of you who listen and then who are like, you know what, I'm gonna check it out and see what it's all about. So thank you so much for being here and for listening, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.